I'm finding out people in Lake Charles and surrounding are listening. And it's not just Brother Paul out of Lake Charles is listening. We have other listeners too. So I want to say good morning to everyone, all those who having a birthday today or this weekend, celebrating the good life that they've been living. And with that, I want to say good morning to my guest, Ms. Ann Swiss. She's running for mayor president of Lafayette. And I was so pleased because she's been heavily involved in a lot of things here in Lafayette. If y'all could remember, she sit on Protect the City Committee. And I think she did a wonderful job. Maybe that's what enticed her, to run for mayor president because of the things that went on as Protect the City, and she was the chairperson of Protect the City Committee. So I want to say good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you for this opportunity, Wallace.
Yes. Well, I have to give everybody that's running for office the opportunity to come on and state their case. They can't be everywhere, but for those that's watching the program, they could hear your platform and what you have to offer to the people of the city and parish of Lafayette. I want to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself.
Thank you.
And tell the people what you're all about. And now it's your show.
Thank you. Well, my name is Jan Swift. I moved here 40 years ago after law school. I graduated from LSU Law School, and I moved to Lafayette for an opportunity. That 50 miles going down the highway. I had been here before but hadn't lived here.
Mm-hmm.
The culture was so different. It was so inviting as far as faith, family, people working together.
Mm-hmm.
And I fell in love with Lafayette.
Mm-hmm.
I fell in love with my husband. We dated quite a while. We got married 34 years ago, John Swift. I have two daughters, Kelly and Taylor, and I just love our community, and I have been deeply involved in our community. You brought up Protect the City. That's just one of many things, but that is what motivated me to run for office.
Mm-hmm.
If I can go into that.
Yes, sure.
The City Council of Lafayette, we were just starting out the split councils.
Mm-hmm.
There was a city council and a parish council. And starting in 2020, the City Council was unable to even get some things on the agenda that were just City of Lafayette related.
Mm-hmm.
The Parish Council was given the authority to block.
City.
I know, it didn't quite fix it, did it?
No, it broke it big
I agree.
time.
I agree. So I remember watching the news, watching all the parks in North Lafayette being closed with no input from other elected officials. The City Council finding out that if $1 of parish funds was commingled with city funds, that the parish had authority over things that went on our agenda. An attorney was hired by the City Council to give them legal advice as to what do we do, how do we work through this, and that attorney was sued personally by the Guillory administration. It was just really chaos. So Pat Lewis introduced the ordinance that said, we think we need to see if the City of Lafayette is benefiting under the current form of consolidation. And I was asked to serve by Nanette Cook. She's my council member for District 4. And 7 of us were appointed, and I was elected by my peers on that commission to chair it. I think it was my legal background. I had experience in government. Wallace, I've been an assistant city parish attorney, so I understood how things worked. We spent 6 months trying to gather data. We came up with for people that can see this, a thick report, kind of scholarly, I thought, but very detailed, answering questions. And the bottom line for me when I walked away from that was nobody represented me in the administration, either the City of Lafayette or the parish. I left feeling disrespected. We couldn't get information we asked for. We were given information, but not details. If we asked budget questions, we were given the 454-page budget.
Mm-hmm.
If we asked for allocation codes of who pays for what in the city and parish, they gave us a list of codes.
Mm-hmm.
It goes on and on. I just left feeling like nobody represents me,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't think I'd be running at that point.
Right.
It was kind of a year-long, examination of my heart, my soul, and calling around to see if other people might step up
Mm-hmm.
and at least give our residents a choice in this upcoming election on October 14th. And
Right.
I didn't hear from others, and I decided I'm stepping up.
Mm-hmm.
It's time. I mean, I think it's time for a change.
Well, I understand stepping up because that's what I did. I stepped up and started trying to find out and make sure that the citizen of Lafayette heard the things that was going on with consolidation, with a lot of the things that was going on at the council, and I've always commended Councilman Pat Lewis for putting Protect the City Committee together, because he went around during the time of Fix the Charter, he went around telling people that Fix the Charter was no good for us. But we had councilors up there push Fix the Charter. After they pushed Fix the Charter, they turn around and bust up 2 historical districts. That was District 3 and District 4. Now it's District 1 and District 5. So all these things, was very hardening, discouraging, especially after, Mike Hefner came in there and redistricted the line. Because when he redistricted the line, he gerrymandered certain parts of Lafayette in District 1. And that highly upset me. And I still talk about it. I'm always talk about it because I was raised in District 3. I voted in District 3 for many years, even though I was Louisiana raised, California grown.
You were?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Stayed 30 years in California.
Oh, goodness.
Mama got sick. I came back to help take care of her, and I was supposed to go back. But I guess I stayed a little too long.
You're what they call a boomerang,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you just stayed, and you
Yeah.
stayed here.
California, I really got into my God-given talent, especially when I came back home, and I liked it that. I liked it, the people I was meeting, the things that they was doing, and the things that they didn't like what I was doing, but I never tried to disrespect nobody. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you have anything on your record that would embarrass the city or the parish of Lafayette if you become mayor?
I certainly hope not. I've never been arrested. I've never been in jail. I have gone in jail as an attorney to probably embarrass myself more than anything by, misspeaking or misstepping, but not that I know of, no. Are you aware of anything?
No. No,
It's going to come out now.
It's not about.
And I'm 65. I still have time.
Oh, yeah.
I still have time to do something. And I
I'm
shouldn't
not
say that.
asking for myself. I'm asking for the people that's listening that possible will vote for you. You have opponents that's running, that's if they decide to come on the show, I'll ask them to say, of course.
Ask them,
Yeah. I sit on their committee to get a chief.
The latest chief?
No, not the latest. When I think it was the first one.
After Toby Aguilar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when Chief Glover, we all appointed him, not just one person appointed him, we all appointed him. And the sheriff was the adamant one to want him here. And when he was dismissed, you know, that kind of disappointed me because I used a lot of time. At the time my wife was sick and in the hospital, I would come out from taking care of her, you know, while she was in the hospital to make sure that we get a good chief and things like this here, you know, and I felt very disappointed.
I was disappointed. I got to know Chief Glover, you know, I've been chair of Crime Stoppers.
Mm-hmm.
I've been on Crime Stoppers board for many years now. And I also interviewed him on my podcast, Discover Lab. Policing.
Yeah.
He was from Dallas, but originally from Louisiana.
Yeah.
And was glad to come back, and he actually was investing in our community. He had made the decision to, you know,
Mm-hmm.
construct a home, remodel. I know he was putting lots of money into having his residence, and I was shocked at 10 months that he was
Yeah.
asked to leave. I think I wasn't as shocked as he was,
I know.
and I think that's still under review, right?
Yeah. Now and then I give him a call. Hey, old man, what you doing?
No, it's not that old.
No.
Can I ask you a question while we're on this? Talk to me about what's important to you about community policing, if it is, and fair policing and adequately trained police, because I know that's got to be an issue. It's an issue for many of us. We want safety in our neighborhoods.
I would like to see more, I think, unity within the police department. You know, instead of everybody be disfranchised. The old saying is code blue, you know, and if you in code blue, you're supposed to be together as one, not separate individual. And they have a lot of separate individuals. You know, I'm all over Lafayette. Some officers speak, some officers, they're not gonna speak, you know. I haven't had none of them to disrespect me. I like to wave, you know. I got a thing now, this is how I wave at people.
Okay.
I love you,
Oh.
you know, and everybody, I wave at everybody. I don't care if it's a homeless person, if they're walking around staggering because they got a beer in their hand or anything like this here. I speak to everybody. And I learned that through the word in the Bible when I learned how to read the walk of Christ and where I got the walk of Christ from. Jesus Christ was for everyone. With I love you. And the grandbaby, when she was coming up, I used to teach her that, you know, when you wave at
You
somebody.
love that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, with 6 police chiefs in 3 years, I mean, that was as of the end of last year, Judith S. George was appointed, and she's been there for decades.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, you know, the average tenure of a police chief around the country, including evil, I think about a regular company. If you had a CEO coming in every 6 months, nobody knows who's on first.
Right.
And it's hard to have that unity you're talking about because people are always, I'm sure they're feeling like the rug's going to be pulled out again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And probably fear of retribution.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not speaking for police officers. I'm just thinking of how I would feel if I was in an organization that was in constant upheaval. I don't know about you, but I want well-trained police officers, peace officers that feel respected
Mm-hmm.
and also with the right training and purposes.
Right.
And we need to focus on that. It's just been a revolving door.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 of the interim police chiefs didn't want to be chief.
Mm-hmm.
Scott Morgan and Monty Potier, they were like, thank you, I'll serve as an interim, I'm not interested in serving as a police chief, and we lost some depth there
Yeah.
when they retired.
Yeah. Well, you know, a lot of times you hear talk about police officers, you know, all officers are not bad. I know that for a fact. And then you got some that in it just for the money. You got it, some of them that get in it because they mad about when they was coming up in school. Somebody might have been heckling them, taking their lunch money or something, you know. You hear all kind of stories that goes on with officers. But I have a lot of officers I talk to, and they're very pleasant.
I could not get up every day and know that I could be shot at and killed. I don't have that temperament. I just take my hat off every day with respect to people that serve our community. It can be a thankless job, and they're in danger.
You know, because I think she's awesome. Like I said, to get up in the morning, leave her kids if she has kids and stuff like this here, and go try to protect the people in the city. And my hat goes off to them. You know, it's just like a lady truck driver.
Yeah, that's a tough job.
Yeah. You know, and when I learned how to drive truck, little old girl, a woman, you understand me, she was driving truck, you know, and she asked me to help her back it up so she could swing the trailer around. You know, so I told her how to do her wheels and everything. She said, "You're a truck driver?" I said, "No." She said, "You need to go drive truck."
Diesel Truck Driving Academy.
Yeah, you know what you're doing. Well, just so happened, how I got to that station, a friend of mine, he was driving truck, and he had pulled in the station to get some fuel. They don't call it gas, they call it fuel. And I was standing out there when she asked me to help her. Wheel over there, that second trailer gonna follow you, I guarantee you that. And when she got it out of there, she got out that truck and told me, "You need to go get your license," you know. And I did.
Oh, okay.
And my mother had told me, maybe 10 years before she passed away, "You should have been a truck driver." And after she passed away, I went and got my license, and do as requested. I always wanted to go to Miami when I was in California. And when I got my license, I went to Miami so many times I knew how to go there with my eyes closed, you know.
Right, that's a long haul.
Yeah, I wanted to go to New York. I got to New Jersey, and in New Jersey, I was on a hill and I could see New York, but I never did get a chance to go to New York. The people didn't have the permit to go to New York. Why they had permit to go to New Jersey, but they didn't have permit to go to New York. So, but anyway, Ms. Woods, that's enough about me. I'm
enjoying this. I don't know much about you. Maybe people don't know these stories. Yes.
Question from the director's booth. Ms. Swift, as a candidate for mayor president of Lafayette, what do you see the most pressing issue that facing Lafayette, and what's the issue that you at the foremost want to attack first? Is it transportation in the parish? What is the most important thing that you would like to undertake if you take office?
I'm going to tell you my top 3 priorities, but I'm going to tell you what undergirds all of that. So the public safety we were just talking about. Second, economic development. We have not been really promoting Lafayette as we could. Lafayette Economic Development, the organization, does a great job, but they go out and recruit business. We used to do that. I want to see that return. And thirdly, our quality of life, and that encompasses the roads and drainage. I mean, we still have so many issues. We blew through COVID money digging holes that we don't even have a master plan for drainage. So that will be priorities. But undergirding all that is honesty in government. I don't feel that we've had a transparent administration. Like I said, when I was on has issues trying to report on things because it's difficult to get public records requests honored. And finally, $1 a page was instituted. So even if you ask for a document that might be something that could be emailed to you, if it's 3,500 pages, that's $3,500. I want to see open and honest government. Open being where people can talk to the mayor president, my appointed heads of departments can come talk directly anytime, and the councils have input. A lot of times what's happened is our councils have not been given information, ordinances have not been passed, the administration is filing suit against others without authorization, land has been purchased in another parish without an ordinance telling the city council that city tax dollars. Jay, undergirding all this is, I will be open. I'm not doing this at this point for money or power. I'm not taking the pay raise that was voted. There was a $48,000 pay raise enacted for the next administration. The average person in the city and parish makes about $35,000. And that wasn't what motivated me. Money's great, but what's even more important is returning to the idea of public